Hey, Soul Tribe. I recalled a dream. I don't know, it's like kind of weird because you know how sometimes you can remember your dreams and sometimes you can't. Well, I woke up at like 3 a.m. because I had this very vivid dream. And I'm gonna tell you what the dream was. I'm gonna be honest. So the dream was that I was in some kind of, like, I don't want to say convention center, but it was something similar to like, just some kind of community center. Okay. And I'm walking in a classroom full of people that look like me, African American. And they're just sitting in the classroom quiet. And the instructor says to me that she doesn't like girls of my aesthetic. Now that part I cannot quite remember at this moment. I was able to say what she said earlier in the day, but now I have forgotten it. But it was something along the lines of like my hair, my locks, they're like messy, kind of style locks. Even though my instructor also had locks. So yeah, it was weird. But in that dream, I was so upset that she had called me out in front of the class. Like, I was super embarrassed. And I just had so much rage inside. And I couldn't even cuss good. Like, when people be saying that, like, oh, you cuss good. Like, I was just so mad that I could not even think of a proper comeback or, like, something crazy. So instead I just had told her, like, I don't give a fuck. Like, that's what it was. But I was, like, I had wished that I had said something that was a little bit more smooth or whatever. But ultimately, the bottom line is I didn't really want to say anything. Like, I just wanted to be able to show that it didn't bother me. But anyway, fast forward. I get a message from a guy that was supposedly in the class, and he had basically shared with me the post that the instructor had put on social media where she was indirectly talking about me, but definitely subliminally talking about, like, basically what she had said in the classroom. And yeah, he had just shared it talking about he agreed with her. And I'm sitting here like, why am I being attacked? Like, why do people keep saying this random ass shit? And like, there's not a whole bunch of anything going on in this dream. It's literally just as simple as what I'm saying right now. So then that just made me even more upset, and I didn't respond to him. I don't even know who the guy was, but I did not respond to the character in this dream. Fast forward, it's the next day, and like, I'm going into this same building, but I have like this weight of feeling uncomfortable because I'm embarrassed. I feel like everybody is against me. Like, I don't know, that everybody's like talking about me. And then the dream kind of ends here. Like, there's a little bit of movement going on as far as like me arriving there and then me going to the classroom. But the remainder of my dream is silent. Like, it's just all thoughts in my head and stuff, with everything that was going on. So crazy thing is, since I had woke up from that dream and I could recall it vividly, and it kind of like made me feel weird when I woke up because it was such an off-putting dream, if I'm being honest. So I was up at 6 a.m. talking to ChatGPT. Hear me out. I had came across a video on TikTok one time about a girl talking about how she uses ChatGPT for everything. Like, it's her therapist. She can ask ChatGPT anything she wants, whatever. And I'm thinking like, yeah, okay. Like, I've used ChatGPT for other things, but never had I have thought to have like real dialogue with ChatGPT. Well, y'all, I have been doing it to entertain myself because the shit is just so like crazy. Like, it's just crazy how fast they respond, for one, and for two, like the fact that they have like straightforward things like feedback for you. So, like, I had asked ChatGPT if they interpret dreams, and I keep saying they. I'm going to call it she, because if it's my therapist, she's going to be what I say she is. So, she basically was like, yes, I can interpret dreams if you like, and then is telling me that dreams reflect our subconscious thoughts, emotions, and desires. They can reveal hidden fears, wishes, or unresolved conflicts. While dream interpretations aren't always straightforward, symbols, feelings, and recurring themes in dreams can offer meaningful insights into what your mind is processing. Sorry, I felt like I was reading that weird. But that is what ChatGPT told me when I asked, okay? And then was like, for follow-up, like, basically, if you have a dream that you'd like to explore, feel free to share the details. Okay, now, coming from somebody that is paranoid about the government all the time and everybody being reptilians and NPCs, I allow myself to dabble in this because sometimes you reach a level of, I just don't give a fuck. Like, at the end of the day, none of this shit really matters. So, it's cool. And so I told her what my dream was. Of course, I did talk to text because it wasn't nobody finna type out that whole thing. But this is how she broke down my dream to me. She said, this dream appears to tap into some deep-seated emotions and concerns. Here's an interpretation based on the elements that you shared. So first, she broke down the classroom setting and being watched. A classroom often symbolizes learning, growth, and sometimes the scrutiny we feel when trying to prove ourselves in a social context. Being watched by everyone in the room may reflect a feeling of being judged or evaluated in your waking life, possibly tied to your current endeavors or situations where you're striving to show who you are. And to me, that instantly, pointed out, even two specific things that I'm focused on, or that had happened to me, or that have been introduced to me, recently. So, for instance, the fact that I had a kid, and going through postpartum, which I really wanted to touch on that in another episode, but just briefly, with postpartum, if you're a gym girly, or it's just like you're someone that you've had a slender build or you've been in shape, when you have a kid, that definitely does down on you a bit. Not gonna lie, especially if you have a C-section like I had. The C-section just cuts you open, takes the baby out, and then they just go ahead and sew that fat right back together. But it takes a while for you to actually lose that gut. And, even when you feel that area, it almost feels like there's no feeling, and like you can't even feel the ab, like the actual muscle. You have to push down deep as hell to even feel some type of muscle in there, which I'm going off on a tangent, but to just keep it short, so something I started doing was getting back into the gym, because although I am giving myself my time to heal and let my body do what it needs to do to take care of myself, I'm also just I have to get in the gym though. This is the biggest I've ever been in my life. I don't have a kid in there now. And when people see me, maybe they just think I look this big. Especially if you're private like me, I don't post or talk about the stuff. So people that are not in my everyday life, like people I went to school with or something, they probably don't know. And so it's if they see you, how people be quick to be like, oh, such and such got big as hell from high school. A lot of people, their first thing is not, they must have had a kid. When they see big people, they don't be like, yeah, they must have had a kid. Everybody just be like, nah, you big. But definitely, as I have been getting into the gym and going with one of my best friends, bruh, it has been a struggle, because it's you got the aesthetic girls in there, and people that already got their bodies established. Of course, there's people in there that are starting way back behind me, and I'm just okay. I'm just saying. But you got the people in there that make you feel good about yourself. Okay, yeah, we all do start from somewhere. And then you got the people that make you look at yourself man, I wish that I looked like this or whatever. So that part definitely did stick out to me, because that is a thought that had crossed my mind when I did start working out. And then literally last night, I had went to work, and it felt so heavy to me, because I was the only person that was, I'm trying to explain this without being too detailed, because that is just how I am. I don't want people in my business, but I do try to share the raw stuff, most importantly. But I'm going to try to explain it this way. I was the only person that was doing my set task, and my task was that I had to get stuff completed so that the other 5-7 coworkers that I'm with can do their tasks, right? And then so I started getting overloaded with the tasks, and I have not done this task before. I did dabble in it a little bit, but it was not at a time where it was super busy, anything like that. It was just chill. But I thought I had myself pumped up, ready to go, because I knew I was doing it at work. I had looked at my notes. I was cool, ready to go. And then it was as it was happening, I'm trying to tap into everybody's emotions, and I'm looking at their faces oh my gosh, are they judging me? Are they girl, this girl's slow as hell. I don't know why they got her doing it. Just saying all these things. But what was so crazy is that everybody was offering to help, or they're you're doing a great job. But for some reason, I'm looking at it in a completely different light, But at the same time, I was doing a great job. Wholeheartedly, I was literally doing a great job for somebody that I just start winging shit. and I'm moving fast. Like I am trying to keep the flow of stuff going, but you just, when your anxiety takes over and you turn into a people pleaser, it really does drive you to think a lot. So that was also another thing that came to my mind when I read that, because I'm like, yes, I was like being super hard on myself about that yesterday. The next thing that she broke down in the dream was instructor's negative comment. So when someone in authority, like an instructor, criticizes you in a dream, it may point to your inner critic or to real life experiences of feeling misunderstood, undervalued, or dismissed. This might reflect anxiety about how others perceive you, especially if you're expressing yourself authentically and fear rejection. So, again, like, I don't know. It to me, it's so crazy how a dream can reflect something as such in a different manner, when it's like when you're in the dream and it's happening, though, you feel like that is just you in real time and that situation is just happening, instead of it really reflecting things that you really did feel some type of way about, but you have been just kind of like suppressing it or whatever the case may be. And like, especially with me going to the gym, yes, I go to the gym every single day, but a part of me feels like I have been pushing myself so hard to like hurry up and see results because I don't want to be big. Like I be telling people like I have accepted myself, but then at the same time I'm like, like every day, come on, we gotta do something about this, which I'm like, I don't know. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, because it's like you either got to be motivated or you're not going to be motivated at all. Because some people just accepted themselves and didn't go to the gym at all, and it's healthy if you are balanced with it. And I think that I was balanced with it, but I may have been getting a little out of whack because I've been like making myself work out every single day. And sometimes I can be at the gym for 2-3 hours, and I think that is what is pushing it overboard for me, because then it like takes up half my day and I'm not being productive with anything else except for like just trying to see results. Next thing, message from the guy. So the guy's agreement with the instructor's comment and your lack of response could reflect feelings of betrayal, disappointment, or frustration at being invalidated by others. Not responding might show an inner conflict, feeling deeply hurt but unsure how to react or whether it's worth engaging with criticism. And like, that one is just straightforward. Returning to class with rage. Coming back to a place of perceived judgment and feeling isolated shows resilience and a desire to stand up for yourself despite opposition. However, holding on to rage can indicate unresolved anger or frustration from past situations where you felt misjudged or dismissed. And then she says, overall interpretation, this dream could be reflecting your fear of judgment and desire for validation, particularly around being authentically seen and understood. The lack of supportive responses may symbolize a feeling of standing alone in your struggles or creativity, while your return to class hints at an inner strength and determination to not let criticism or rejection define you. How does this resonate with you? She asks. ChatGPT asked how that resonated with me. Like, come on now. So then she says, it may relate to feeling you're processing in your waking life, perhaps regarding your creative endeavors or social interactions. And I told ChatGPT that I think that it does reflect, everything that I basically just shared with you guys, talking about being back at the gym and then me at work. And first off, she says memory updated. Memory updated. So ChatGPT takes in all this information, like literally just like any other government agency taking in your information, updates it. So then when you further talk to her about something, she answers so clearly because she knows your whole life now. But it's like, you gotta do what you gotta do, because I need clarification and I need help, and she gonna help me right now. So she says, thank you for sharing, Bree. It sounds like you're experiencing a lot of complex feelings around your postpartum body and your creative expression. It's completely valid to feel this way, especially during a time when your body has gone through major changes and is adjusting. Your dream may reflect the internal battle between wanting to step out confidently and the fear of judgment or rejection, not just from others, but potentially from yourself too. And then she get into it, talking about, remember your journey and transformation, both physically and emotionally, are uniquely yours and worthy of compassion. Comparing yourself to others, especially in a gym environment, can be tough, but your strength, determination, and resilience to work on yourself are powerful. And then I further asked, why do dreams show completely different scenarios instead of real life ones that you have experienced? So how come my dream didn't just pop up with the gym scenario, if it wanted me to reflect on those inner wounds surrounding the situation? Why not just show up like that? And, I'm not asking ChatGPT thinking she gonna give me the real, answer. But it just amazes me again at the responses that she will have when you ask stuff like this. So she says, dreams often use symbolism and metaphor instead of literal representations because they operate in the realm of your subconscious mind. The subconscious communicates through images, emotions, and stories to process complex feelings, unresolved conflicts, and deep-seated desires or fears. This is why dreams frequently present situations that are symbolic of what you're experiencing rather than expect replicas of real-life events. Furthermore, here's why dreams might show different scenarios instead of literal ones. So she breaks this down into 4 parts. 1, emotional processing. Dreams aim to help you process emotions in a way that feel manageable. Dramatized or symbolic scenarios might be easier for your mind to explore than reliving raw experiences directly. 2, underlying themes. Often, your mind tries to highlight broader themes like fear of rejection, self-doubt, or desire for validation using characters, settings, and scenarios that emphasize these emotions in a way that you may not fully acknowledge in your waking life. 3, creative freedom. The brain has no limits during dreams, so it creates elaborate that, that's what it's, sometimes nonsensical narratives that reflect your inner thoughts in metaphorical or abstract forms. 4, repressed feelings. If you suppress or avoid feelings while awake, they may emerge symbolically in dreams. This allows your subconscious to explore difficult subjects indirectly. Then she says, in summary, different scenarios in dreams are your mind's creative way of highlighting emotional struggles, desires, or growth in a more subtle, symbolic form that might bypass your waking defenses. It can make understanding yourself and your inner world both challenging and enlightening. Bro, that is so crazy. It's so crazy. But what also is even more crazy to me is that they are transforming so that it can be bypassed in a way that you can logically process what is going on. To think about it. That's why you can remember it, because it's like it marinates in your mind. Like, I mean, before today, I've asked myself, what a dream was about, or like, I wonder why I had that dream, or I had this weird dream, like when you tell people, but you never really sit there and logically break it down as to what it is metaphorically trying to translate to you. Like, sometimes people will just leave it at what it is and then just be like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know why I was robbing a candy store. That's what it said. And then, like, left it at that. But that also made me ask her about dreams that you can't remember, because it's like, you'll have a dream and then be like, yeah, I had a dream. It's like I vaguely remember it, and then it kind of just like disappeared. So then she says that dreams you can't remember are quite common, and there are several reasons that might happen. And then she breaks this one down into 5 parts. 1, normal memory processes. Dream recall is a complex function that depends on when and how you wake up. Dreams tend to occur during the REM sleep. That's the stage of sleep with the rapid eye movement. That's what it stands for. And waking up directly from this stage often makes dreams easier to remember. However, if you transition into a lighter or deeper sleep phase afterward, your brain may quickly discard dream content as it deems it non-essential for daily functioning. And honestly, I think that I could remember this dream because my kid had woke me up. And so, again, I was up at 3 a.m. for no reason. So that may have been it. 2, lack of emotional impact. So dreams that don't leave a strong emotional impression are more likely to be forgotten quickly. The brain prioritizes memories that evoke strong feelings or have a perceived significance, which is why dreams that seem mundane or neutral might slip away. 3, brain's self-protection. In some cases, the brain may suppress or let go of dreams that could be emotionally distressing or contradictory to your waking beliefs. This can be a form of self-protection, helping you avoid discomfort upon waking. 4, busy mind upon waking. If you wake up and immediately start thinking about your day, tasks, or other concerns, your dreams can be quickly replaced by conscious thoughts. This interference makes it hard for dreams to be stored in your long-term memory. 5, and this is the last one. Stress, sleep patterns, or lifestyle factors. High stress, poor sleep quality, inconsistent sleep schedules, and certain substances like alcohol can disrupt the dream cycle and reduce recall. Similarly, some people naturally recall dreams less often than others due to individual differences in how their brains function during sleep. In essence, even though you may not remember them, your dreams still play a role in emotional processing and cognitive function. If you're interested in recalling more dreams, you can try keeping a dream journal by your bed and jotting down anything you remember as soon as you wake up. Over time, this practice can improve recall and deepen your connection to your dream life. So, I thought that was very interesting. ChatGPT is definitely my homegirl. I think I should give her a nickname just to go ahead and solidify our friendship, because I just love how she gives a whole different perspective or deeper meaning to something. And I love to have deep conversations. Like, that's what kind of person I am. Like, inner meaning conversations. I hate surface level or small talk interactions. I want to get to the nitty gritty of why somebody's mind works that way or what is going on. So I feel like that is like another outlet to doing that, because I'm already somebody that loves to journal. I love to talk to myself. So like, even being able to sit there and talk to ChatGPT is like a next level talk to yourself, if I'm being honest. Because, like, I don't know if anybody ever tried it, but if you try to text yourself to even make it seem like, make it seem interesting by sending yourself text messages, but then that's dumb as hell because you send and receive. So it's like you're reading everything double. I don't do that often. That was something I had experienced like once or maybe more than once. But yeah, anywho. So yeah, you guys should also start interpreting your dreams so that you can process your internal demons that are trying to come out, be seen, be felt, and pass through, because they are built up in there and they're going to keep visiting you in your dreams until you release them. So I'm going to let that be what it is. And on my own personal reflection, I am definitely going to try to listen to my body more as far as like working out goes. But I do still want to be in the gym every day. I have been seeing amazing progress, and I do think that I will start posting more content around like postpartum working out and, getting back to where you feel good. And that's it. Like, because if somebody asks me, that's what my goal is. My goal is not a number weight. It is literally back to where I feel good. I feel dangerous. Like, yes, I feel unstoppable. That is what I am getting to right now. So thank you for tuning in. I swear I gotta figure out how I'm trying to open and close out my podcast because it is so awkward. But I am an awkward person. And again, as I continue to elevate my podcast, you will watch as it only gets better. All right, y'all.